We're finally at the last part of the series where we'll be creating the entire portfolio page. And the way we're going to make it look like or structure it, we're going to have a grid container, right? That's going to have one grid item, which is going to be the title. And then another grid item that's going to be these links here. And we'll actually be using Material UI tabs to create this. And finally, we're gonna have another grid item that's gonna have all of these stuff, like all the projects, right? What we're gonna do is when you click on a project, it's gonna open a Material UI dialog. It's gonna have like a title, maybe a picture, yeah. Yeah, I guess a picture. I don't know. We'll see. A picture. I guess a subtitle and then text, and then we'll have like links to the projects at the bottom. So it'll just be a simple dialog. So if I were to go to Material UI dialog and open a simple dialog, something like that. Yes, it's just going to be a simple dialog like that. That's going to like show some of those essential details, right? So that's how we're going to code our image gallery. So let's get started, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, let's get started. It's gonna be quite a complicated process for this one because we're gonna be using hooks and tabs as well. So just follow along and you'll be fine. One more thing, on my first video, I just saw a comment right now where someone said they can't really see the text, so I should zoom in. And this is the last video, so if you're still watching, I'm sorry about that, but I'm gonna do that for this video. I do not know how to do that. Appearance. Okay. Damn, this is gonna be hard to read. But okay, cool. So I guess I'll have to use full screen now. But yeah, if you watch the video on 720p or 1080p and have it on full screen, like everything should be pretty readable. But okay. So for the resume, so we're done with the resume, right? I'm gonna open the portfolio page. Let's create our CSS as well, like usual. So portfolio.css, and let's import it inside the portfolio.js. So import, no, not there. So okay, so portfolio.css. How do you want to do this? So let's start with what we want to return, right? So we're going to do a grid container, which is going to be the outermost container. So grid container. Okay. Let's give this a section class name. Class name equals to section, right? So it adds the padding to the right and left, and then we have a PT as well. So PT and a PP. So I'm just going to copy and paste this as well, right? So section, we've coded the section to have a right and left padding, and we're also going to add a top and bottom padding as well, right? So let's have that as the container. Inside, we're going to have the first grid item, which is going to be the title, right? So grid item, and let's copy the title from the resume page. So if I open this, I'm gonna copy the grid item again and then replace it back. So let's replace this grid item. So we're gonna have the title, right? We want to call the title portfolio, right? So portfolio. So I'm gonna comment everything out here so it's cleaner to read. Title. Okay. The next thing we want to do is add the tabs. And so I'm going to create a grid item, and then we're going to look into the Material UI library, right? We're going to have the tabs, and I'm going to say grid item, oh my days, item. Okay, and I guess, yeah, that's it, right? So grid item, and in here we're going to find some sort of tabs. So let's go into Material UI and look for the tabs component. So it's going to be something like that, right? But we're going to get rid of the buttons and style it in a way for it to look like that. Okay, so I'm not going to copy this. You can actually copy it and replace everything, but I'm actually going to write everything on my own right now, yeah? So for the tabs, let's start. So we're gonna have the tabs. Okay, also import. Let's close that. And then inside the tabs, we're gonna have individual tab items. But let's give in some props to the tabs, right? So I'm gonna say the value is gonna be something. So how do we know what the value is? Like, if you go here, okay. So right now the value is all. If you click on web design, the value is gonna be web design. If you click on whatever, that's gonna be the value, right? So according to that value is what items we're gonna display, right? So for this, we're gonna use our first hook, where we're gonna call, let's create the hook here. So const, let's have a tab value, and set tab. I feel this is gonna be a long video, so I'm not gonna explain like hooks and all of that as well. So let's do a use state, and then I'm gonna import it. Yep. So that's the import if you want to do it, or you can do react.use state here as well. But use state, and let's have a default value as all, just for the first one, right? So the default value is all. It's gonna show all the projects. Okay. So default value is all, and the value is going to be the tab value. Okay, so that's going to be the value. And then what else do we need? So if you look at the material UI tabs, okay, it has some sort of underline. So if you look at this one, it has a blue underline, right? Yeah, do you see that? So we're gonna make our underline as white, so it just blends in with the background. In order to do that, another prop that we can pass it is indicators. The underline is called the indicator, right? So the indicator color, and I'm not sure if transparent is a value, but I'm just gonna give in whites. Next thing I want to do is just give it a class name. So we'll use it for styling, and then we'll call it custom tabs. And so we have the value. Okay, but once we change a tab, we want to change the value as well, right? So I'm going to say on change. Okay, what do you want to do on change? So if we go, let's go into JavaScript mode. By default, we're going to have this as a callback function, right? By default, we'll get an event and a tab value. A new value. Okay. So I think this you can name this to whatever you want, but when a tab is changed, you get two parameters or two values back on change, right? So one is the events and one is the new value. So what we want to do here is when we get the new value, I just want to set the tab value, which is up here. So the tab value, and to set this tab value, we're going to use this, right? We're going to set the tab value to the new value that we get from the material UI, right? And I'm going to press Ctrl+Shift+F just to arrange everything. There we go. And let's save this and see if it works. Failed to compile, grid is not defined. So let's import grid, save. Okay, perfect. So what we have, so right now we don't have any tab item, right? We've created the outer container. So we've created the outer container, but we still have to pass in the item. So that's the outer container. And we still have to pass in some items, right? The items are active, disabled, and active again here. So let's do the grid items, the tab items. But before that, remember, we're not gonna hard code anything. Everything is gonna come in from the resume file, right? So let's go back to our code, and let's actually go back to the resume data file. And in here, we've done the skills. I'm going to minimize everything that we've done. Okay, perfect. So skills is done, and the last thing that we want to do in here is the portfolio, right? So portfolio, and that's going to be an array of objects. So if we go into portfolio, right, let's do an array of objects, and every object is a different how do I explain this? So okay, so every object is just a different portfolio item, okay, but we're going to pass in several different things into the object. So let's start with the first object, right? the first object is going to have a tag, and what I mean by tag is just that thing, like the tag over here, right? So for example, this project will have a tag of photography, for example, right? And if I click on photography, that project is going to show up, right? So let's have a tag. I'm going to call this tag, let's say it's my React project, right? So I'm going to call this React. Another thing I want to do is pass in an image, right? So for the image, I'm going to Google an image, background. I'm just going to Google a random image. You can save the image into your assets / images and then refer to that image, or you can just get an image from the web. So I'm going to open this in a new tab, copy that, and that's going to be my image. Okay, and then next thing I want to have in there is my title. Okay, so the title of the project, I'm going to say, I'm just going to call it project 1, right? Another thing that I want to do is have the description as well. So description, and for the description, I'm just gonna give it something simple. This is my project description. Please fill it in. Okay, so that's gonna be my project description. Okay, the last thing that I need for this this project is all the social links. So I'm going to have a link to, for example, my GitHub or YouTube or something, right? For example, GitHub, YouTube, or I don't know, like anything, right? So you can have as many links as you want in here. So I'm going to create links, okay? And that's going to be an array of objects again, okay? So links in there, we're going to have several links. So the link for this one is going to be https www.google.com. okay, so that's going to be the link to this project. Oh, we forgot to add a comma here. Okay, and I'm going to pass in an icon as well, right? So when you click on the icon, it will go to the link. We've done this thing several times before. And for this item, I'm going to pass in YouTube. Let's import the YouTube icon. Okay, so that's going to be my icon. Let's copy and paste this maybe like twice or thrice. Okay, I'm gonna have maybe a GitHub icon, and maybe I'm gonna have a language icon. Okay, so this is gonna be my first project. Let's copy and paste this a couple times, and all of our projects will look something like that. So I'm gonna create 4. Okay, so my second project, I'm gonna have the same background for all of them. You guys will get, like, when you see it, you'll see what it does, right? So I'm gonna have 2 React projects. I'm gonna have 1 maybe Python project, and I'm gonna have 1 Java project. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna give this proper name, React project 1. I'm gonna call this React project 2. React project 2. Okay, I'm gonna say Python project 1, and like there, Java project 1. Okay, so every project has its own object that's gonna have several things inside, right? I guess this should be good enough for our data that we need. Let's save it, and I'm gonna close it and go back to our portfolio. Now, wait, actually let's open the data, right? So now here's the thing. We want our tags, right, or our tab items to be the tags, right? So we have a React tag, so we're gonna have a React tag here, and then we have another React tag. So remember, we should only show React once, not twice. And then we have another Python tag, and we have another Java tag. So what we're gonna get, we're gonna get all, we're gonna get React, we're gonna get Python, we're gonna get Java, right? So that's what we want to do. So let's close this again, and let's go in here. So by default, by default, the first tab will be called all, right? So I'm gonna give it a tab. And by the way, all of this is in the Material UI documentation, so you can just refer to this. I'm gonna give this a label of all. So that's gonna be the default one. I'm gonna give this a value of all. Okay, so label is what you will see, and value is the backend, right? So we're gonna like set the tab value here and set the tab value there, and that's how it's gonna match the tab item with the tabs, right? So, and we're gonna give it a class name as well. Or now remember something, right? We did the same thing for the header. So if it's active, it's gonna have a different color and a different class name. If it's not active, it's not gonna have that class name. It's gonna make it the default color, right? So let's go back here, and we're gonna do the same thing. So class name, and we're gonna say if. Okay, so we're gonna say if the tab value. So if the current active tab value is equal to all, okay, we want to give it a class name, and if not, we want to give it something else. So if it's not, we're going to give it a custom, just custom tabs, that's what we called it, underscore item, right? So this is an individual tab item. And then if it is active, okay, we're going to say just underscore act, or we're just going to give it an active, right? Just an active there. So that means it's still going to have this class name, but it's also going to have another class name called active, right? So, and let's close this now. So let's close this. So that's one tab. If I save it, hopefully without any errors, and yeah, we do get an error, we're going to have to import tab. So let's import it and save it now. And hopefully we should get one tab. There we go. So we have a tab in there, right? That says all. So for this grid item, I'm going to give it an excess of 12, so it should take up the full width, right? So it'll go into the next line. Cool. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Okay, cool. I guess that should be fine. It's kind of, we'll kind of maybe remove the padding. By default, there's a padding to the left. I think we'll remove that as well. Oh, sorry, I had to pause the video for the second. Something came up, but where was I? I'm not sure. I'll just continue with the code, I guess. Right? So we have the first tab value, and now let's fill in the remaining tab values. Now the remaining tab values are gonna come from the resume data, remember? So let's import the resume data in here as well. Import resume data from, I wanna go one step up, 2 steps up, utils, and then resume data, and save that. Cool. So for the remaining items, we're gonna do something different. So we're gonna have to map through all of them, obviously, but wait. So we have a tab there. Let's do it there, right? So I'm gonna go into JavaScript mode, and then I'm gonna say resume data dot projects dot map. Okay, and we'll get individual items, right, or individual projects, right? But here's the thing, every project should have a unique where is that? Every project should have a unique tag. So if I just map to the projects, it's gonna repeat React twice, which I don't want it to happen. So if you guys know sets in JavaScript, it's basically JavaScript set. Okay, so the set is basically, you can go read on it. It's basically an array that has unique elements, and if something repeats twice, it's not gonna put it in the array, right? So what we're gonna do is actually, let's go back there and actually create a new set. So where are we? Right here, right? So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get rid of this for now, okay? I'm gonna get rid of this for now, okay? I'm gonna say, let's create a new set, okay? Set, and in the set, what items do I want? I want the resume data, okay? Resume data, dot projects. Wait, did we call it portfolio? Did we call it projects? I think we call it portfolio, right? But yeah, it'll be a better name to call it projects, I guess. I'm gonna rename it there. So let's call it projects, right? So save and close. So I'm gonna map to the projects, okay? dot map, and I'm gonna get individual items in here, right? So I'm gonna get individual items, and what I want to do with the item is just get the tag, item dot tag. That's it. To do the set, you actually have to do this. Cool. So basically what I'm trying to do here is I'm creating an array, and inside the array I'm having a set that's gonna have elements. So the set is gonna look something like that, right? It's gonna have maybe item react, and then item python, and then item something else, right? So that's gonna be the set. So what I'm doing is I'm taking every element of the set, putting it inside the array. And what's the set gonna have? All of these items, the tags that we have, right? And because it's a set, it's gonna be unique. So if anything repeats twice, it's gonna ignore it. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and now that we have an array, I'm gonna map through this array. Okay, so I'm gonna say dot map, and then I'm gonna map through that main array now that we have, right? And in there, we're gonna get a title, right? So like the tags are basically the titles, right? So you can call it tag again or title, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna call it tag, for example. Okay, we're gonna have a tag, and we wanna return something with the tag. So what we want to return is a tab again. So remember we have the individual tabs. So I'm going to return a tab. Okay, it should be a self-closing tag, sorry. And then let's pass in some props. So the label is what we want to see, which is going to be the tag itself. Okay, let's do that. Tag. The next thing is the value. The value is going to be the tag again, right? So the value is going to be the tag. And then we're gonna give it a class name. Okay, same thing like this one. So I'm just gonna copy that and paste it there. Okay, and then just reformat it. So that's what we got now. Save. Let's see if it runs without any errors. There we go. So we have all React, Python, and Java, right? And we get that. So this is an outline that we do not want. So we're gonna get rid of it when we go into the CSS. But I guess we're done. Wait, we're not actually done with the front end, are we? We still have the bottom like projects to do. So we have the portfolio, we have the projects, and now we have to do that and the module as well. Wow, this is a long video. I think we'll leave the module for the next video, or probably have everything in here. You guys can post the video, I don't know, we'll see. But okay, cool. So this is the tabs. We're done with the tabs. Let's go next. Okay, and now we're gonna have all the projects, right? So projects, and then in here, grade item, access 12. So it's gonna take the full width. Okay, but now we're gonna have a container of items in there. So we're gonna create a container, and then we're gonna have items in there. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so wait, let me see. So we're gonna have a container first. Okay, so a grid container. Okay, we'll probably give it class names and all of that later. So grid container. It's gonna be its own section as well. So let's give it a class name of section, just like that one. Wait, do we? Not really, not really. Just gonna have, okay, wait, let me just do this, right? So we're gonna have spacing of 2. So we're gonna need, because we're gonna need spacing between every item, right? So we're gonna have spacing of 2 at least, maybe 3, we'll see. We're gonna justify. So no, we don't need to justify. Wait, give me a second, let me think, right? We're gonna give it a class name. Okay, we're gonna say, let's give it a padding bottom of 30, and then like an average padding of 30. I don't know, we'll figure this out later. Okay, let's just have the spacing for now. In here we're gonna have grid items, right? So we want to map through individual items, right? So so let's do this. I'm gonna go into JavaScript mode, and then I'm gonna say resume data dot projects dot map. Okay, so now we're gonna get individual projects, right? And what do you want to do with the projects? We want to return the projects. Let's go there, we want to return the projects. Let's have the braces and return. So what I'm going to do is grid item. Okay, wait, why didn't it close itself? So let's close grid. Okay, grid item, and in there we're gonna have a card. Okay, so Material UI have a card as well. Let's import that, and we're gonna create cards like this. Okay, so we're gonna create a card like this that's gonna have a media on top, which is gonna be the image, and then it's gonna have content in the bottom, which is gonna be the title and the description, right? So let's go for it. So we're gonna have a card. Okay, we're gonna do something with it later, but let's have the card action area in there. Okay, so card. So all of this is in Material UI. Again, you can just go refer to the docs. Card action area. There we go. And in the card action area, we want everything in there, right? So we're gonna have the card media. Let's import that. Card media, and we're gonna have card contents. I think there should be a soft closing tag. And then we're gonna have card content. Yeah, card contents. Yep. And inside the card contents, we're gonna have the title and the title and the description, right? So let's do that. So title, let's have a typography there. Okay, import that. Typography, we're gonna have the project title in here. Project, so this is the project. No, we're gonna get individual projects, right? So project.title, right there, and we're gonna have the project description. So let's copy and paste that. Project.description. I guess what we can do is probably cut this so that it's so okay. Yeah, we're gonna do that with the CSS later. I forget what I said. So that's what we need, right? But now let's save that and see if we get it first. Let me go back here. Okay, there we go. So we have 4 projects total, right? So we have a React project 1, React project 2, this and that. So what we can do in here, the grid item, let's try and fix everything now. Okay. Wait, let's go into Material UI. Let's say grow API, and let's look for a demo. So pop over, open pop over. Yeah, we can probably use something like that. So grow is basically something that animates. If I click on that, you're gonna see it's like gonna grow in the screen. Like it's not just gonna pop onto the screen, right? Like it slowly grows into the screen. So grow actually have different APIs, different animations that you can use. So what I'm gonna do is like create an animation. Okay, so I'm gonna surround all of this with an animation. Just follow me right here. Okay, so the card should pop in, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the grow API. Okay, import. So I want it to grow in. There's an option in or out, and then I want a timeout. So timeout is basically how fast it should grow in, right? And I'm gonna say 1 second, so that's 1000 milliseconds or whatever it is. Okay, and let's pop the card in there. Save. So that's one thing that we've done. Another thing we want to do is actually, so if I click on for example React, I wanted to just show the React projects, right? I don't want to show everything. So what I can do there is for the grid item, right? Before we get into the grid item, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna say if now I can't use if, right? So what I'm gonna say is let's have an empty tag. And then put everything inside the empty tag, and I'm going to tell you in a second why. Put everything inside the empty tag. Do that, and then in here, let me go into JavaScript mode, and I'm going to be like, okay, so if the tab value, so the current tab value is equal to the project.tag. Okay, so we're going to have this project, right? The project is going to have a tag, right? So we're saying if the tab value is equal to the project.tag, okay, or if the tab value is equal to all. So we want to show the project unless it's on all, or if it has the correct tab, right? Those are the only two options we want to show the project. So if it's one of these two, we want to show the project, or else we don't want to do anything, so just null, right? So I'm going to put everything in there and then reformat it and save. Hopefully this should work, right? So if it's all, it's going to show everything. If it's React, it's just going to show React. If I click on all, it's going to show all. And you guys see the animation, by the way. So if I click on all, look at that. Look at how the bottom two will animate. Do you see that? So we have Python, we have React, we have Java, and we have all. There we go. It's pretty cool, right? There wasn't much logic required, but we got it done, right? So that's it, I guess. The only thing, wait, we have to do a couple more things on this part, and then for the next video, I'm gonna focus on the styling. So I'm gonna pause the video like after we're done with the last part. So what I wanna do is when I click, oops, wait, we haven't finished this. Well, okay, let's just finish this though. Give me a second. So for the card, okay, I'm gonna give this a class name. Okay, let's give it a class name. So we can style it the way we want. Okay, we're gonna give this let me think. We're just gonna give this a class name of custom card. Custom card. Okay, and then it's gonna have something else as well. So we're gonna say when we click on it, okay, we want to open the project model. Okay, so for now I'm just gonna say console log, okay, console log AB something. Okay, so we're gonna do that. So let's have a function to console log it. Okay, only on click. So it's just gonna console log something for now, but we're gonna replace this to open the model when we create the model. Okay, so that's the card. Now what we want to do next is for the card action area, like we don't need anything there, but for the card media, we want to pass in a couple things, right? First thing I'm going to do is pass in a class name. Okay, custom card underscore image. So we have, no, why is this capitalized? That's not the way we should do it, right? So I'm going to say custom card. Okay, custom card underscore image, right? And then we're going to pass in an image to this, and the image is going to be the project.image. Remember, we have a key called image inside the project data, right? Inside the resume data. So that, and we're going to give it a title as well. So the title is going to be project.title, right? So project.title. So those are the three things we need for the card media. For the card content, we don't need anything. For the typography, we're probably going to give it a variant, or maybe not a variant, just a class name. So we can style the text equals to custom class, wait, so that underscore title, right? And for this one, class name is equal to that underscore description, okay? And then for the second one, I'm gonna make the text smaller, right? So I'm gonna give this a class name of body2. So sorry, a variant of body2. Body2. Let's save and see what we got. Okay, so that's fine. The image doesn't show because you still have to add a CSS to it to give it a height and a width to the image. But I think this should be it, right? Let's code the model, and then let's just hook this up with the model, and then we're going to do the CSS in the next video. And the CSS won't take long, so we might just have it. I'm not sure if we'll have it in the same video or not. We'll see. But let's have a model somewhere, right? So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to create another something there. Okay, I'm going to say const project model or project dialog. Okay, because you're going to be using the dialog, right? Project dialog is a function that will return something. So we'll return a dialog that comes from Visual UI. So I'm gonna copy and now I'm gonna copy and paste. I'm actually gonna do it. So dialog, also import from material UI. It will have a title. So let's do this 1 second. So it will have a MUI. 1 second, I'm gonna turn off the microwave. Okay, so we're gonna have an MUI dialog title. If you look through this, if I search for dialog, I think I just need to go back. Just gonna search for dialog. Okay, and we're gonna select a simple dialog. This is what we have, right? So wait, is it a model? No, it's a dialog. I don't know. Just follow me. It's somewhere. Wait. So there we go. We have a dialog, and then we have a dialog title. We have a dialog content. So let's pass in the dialog title. Okay. So MUI dialog title. 1 second. So we just need to say dialog title. Dialog title. Okay. Import that. Yeah. So I got it right this time. So dialog title is gonna be something, right? Yep, it's gonna be something, which is gonna be so we're gonna give in some. Wait, how do you want to do this? Give me a second. So we have a dialog title. We're gonna fill this in a bit, okay? And then we're gonna have an image in the dialog, right? An img, no, just an img inside the dialog. So when the dialog opens, we're gonna have a title. We're gonna have an image, and then we're gonna have the description. So let's do the image there. Okay, it's gonna have a source. The next thing we're gonna need is the dialog content. So dialog content, close that, and inside the content we're gonna have all the descriptions. Okay, so what I'm thinking is give me 1 second. Here's what we're going to do, okay? Here's what we're going to do. So let's go back into resume data. Okay, we're going to have a caption here, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. So a caption is basically a short description, okay? A short description. For each of these, we're going to do a caption, okay? So let's just copy and paste that. Caption. So a short description, okay? So back down where we have the description, I'm just gonna put in a caption, okay? And we can call this description, doesn't matter really. But okay, so that's gonna be the caption. But back in the dialog, we're gonna have the description, okay? So what we're gonna do in here, we're gonna have the description in here, right? Which we're gonna fill in a bit. Okay, we're gonna have the description there. And then right towards the bottom, we're gonna have buttons for our links, right? So we're gonna have, for example, a YouTube link, a GitHub link, a language list, like it's gonna map through this, and whatever it says, it's gonna put it up there, right? So what we're gonna do, right towards the end, we're gonna have a material UI. So we're gonna have dialog actions. Okay, dialog actions, and in there we're gonna have certain actions which we're gonna pass through into. Which we're gonna get through the props or maybe a hook, and then we're gonna give it in here, right? So all actions, okay? So I'm just gonna write title. So when we click on this, so give me a second, right? So when we click on a project, this thing should open up. And how do you open the title? We're gonna create a new hook. As in, how do you open the dialog? It's gonna use a hook, okay? So we're gonna say const, okay? We're gonna say project model or project dialog, okay? And then set project dialog, okay, is equal to use state, okay? And in there, in the start, it's just gonna be false. Okay, so we're gonna say the dialog, okay, it's only gonna be open if there's something, if it's not null or false, right? So even if it's an object or a string or true or anything else, it's gonna be open, but if it's false, it's not gonna open, okay? So we're gonna say it's gonna be open if the project model exists. Okay, so sorry, the project dialog exists. If there's something in here that's not null or false, it's gonna be open. But we're gonna say we're gonna close this. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, so on close, what do you want to do when we press close? So on close, what we want to do is we're gonna set the set project dialog to false again. Set project dialog to false. False. Cool. So and we're gonna copy the same thing inside the title as well. So on close, there and there. I think this should be okay for now at least, right? But once, where do we get the data from? We want the data to come in from this hook here. So what we're gonna do, instead of false, so every time, so if I click on a project, right? So let me go back there, right? So grid item, I think here. So if I click on this, I'm gonna set this hook or this variable to the object, to the project, right? So I'm gonna say on click, so wait, so the card, right? So on click, okay, I want to set project dialog to the project, okay? So we're gonna set it to this project, okay? So that's what we're gonna do, I guess. And then going back up there, man, this is probably gonna be an hour long video, but back up here, we're gonna replace the title, right? So this is gonna be, the title is gonna be project dialog, sorry, dot title. So now remember, the value in here is gonna be an object, right? An object which is gonna be the project, right? So we're gonna say title right there, okay? For the description, we're gonna say project dialog dot description, okay? For the actions, we're gonna map through all the actions that we have, right? So all the links that we have. So we're gonna do this. So we're gonna check if project model, so project dialog, if it exists, I want to do this. I wanted the project model, the links, okay? Dot map. So remember our resume data has links, right? It has links, so we want to map through this, right? So I'm going to say if project dialog, if it's not false, right, and something exists, so let's do project dialog dot links, and then we're going to map through it. And when we map through it, we're going to get an individual link. Okay, we're going to get an individual link. Oops, what did I close? Okay, and with that individual link, we want to return something. We want to return the action. So the action is going to be an A tag. Okay, I'm going to do that. An A tag that's going to href to the link right here, right? So link dot link, okay, dot link. So we're going to get, let me show you. So we're going to get, this is going to be called the link, and then dot link, which is going to be this link right there. Okay, so link dot link, and in there, so okay, we're going to do target equals to underscore blank, so for a new tab, and then maybe give it a class name as well. We're going to do the class names in a bit, right? But in here we're going to set link dot icon. Hopefully this should work. Let's see. Okay, so wait, no, it won't work because we created a dialog, okay, but we can literally just do this, really. Control X, so let's get rid of that, and just towards the end, okay, just towards the end, or yeah, I guess just towards the end, so I don't want it to be inside a, okay, it doesn't matter if I do that and just paste it in there and save it. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna try it. Give me a second. So let's go there. If I click on that, wait, cannot property map of undefined. So cannot property, wait, will that fix it? Cool, perfect. So the issue was projects dialog exists, Okay, but the links didn't exist for a split second, so you can't map through something that doesn't exist. So we're gonna say if it exists, then map through it. So if project dialogs exists, then go to the links, and then if that exists, then go to the map. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. And yeah, so I guess we literally got everything now, right? It's the only thing remaining is the styling, right? So I'm gonna like keep it in the same video, I guess. So let's go to, oh wait, we're gonna have to set the class names for everything for us to style, right? So let's go into the dialog first. Let's just get the dialog done with, right? Inside the dialog, I'm not gonna give the dialog a class name. I'm gonna give the title. No, I don't need a class name for that as well. An image, yeah, I would definitely need a class name for the image, right? So class name is equal to project dialog underscore image. Okay, let me just copy that, project dialog. Okay, for the contents, I don't think we need a class name there. For the typography though, wait, the description. Okay, wait, let's run this with this typography, and let's put the project description inside the typography. Cool. And then let's give the typography a class name. I'm just gonna copy this again. Let's give the typography a class name of description. Okay, and then for the actions, we might have to give this a class name as well, right? So we can align everything properly. So copy, paste. I'm gonna call this actions, and then for the ahref, we need a class name there as well. So class name, because that's gonna have the icon, right? So icon. So the dialog is okay, right? So we're gonna have to give class names to the tabs and the projects as well. So let's start with the tabs now. Okay, so the tabs, let me think. We have a class name custom tabs here. Oh, we have a class name there, and we have a class name there. Okay, cool. Tabs is done, so let's go into projects. And for the projects, anything we need to do here, so read item 12. I don't know, we'll see. So resume data, I want to map through it. Okay, map through it, and then we have a grid inside. We have an item, we have a timeout. Oh, we already gave this a class name, we already gave this a class name. We already gave this a class name, we already gave this a class name. Since we're using custom card that way, don't forget it. Okay, I think the class names are there, like we've already given everything a class name, right? So let's just go ahead, go into the CSS and start styling everything. We don't need the resume data, let's go in here. So first thing is, let's start with the custom, what do we want to do? So let's start with the custom tabs, right? So let's start with the tabs. Let's minimize that, let's start with the tabs, right? So we have the custom tabs, and then since we're doing camel case here, I'm just going to do camel case there as well. Custom tabs, and then we're going to do active next. Okay, so we're going to do item and active. So we need custom tabs, item, and custom tabs active. So let's do that. So we're going to have custom tabs. Okay, we're going to have custom tabs dot active. So if it's active, and then we're going to have custom tabs dot custom item, custom tabs underscore item. Yeah, I guess that should do right for now. So for the custom tabs, we don't need anything inside the custom tabs. I'm going to get rid of that. So for the let's do the item first, right? So I'm going to copy and paste a couple CSSs, and then I'm going to explain through each of them. So before, okay, I do want to save first. Okay, I'm going to undo it, and then just paste it back. Okay, so let's put everything side by side, one there and one there. So by default, okay, by default, why does this show in a weird way? Well, whatever. Okay, by default, this has some sort of padding, right? So if I click on one, you'll see like there's padding around it, right? So I want padding to be 0, and then Material UI also give it a min width. So even if it's 1 character or 20 characters, there's a min width that's this width, right? I'm gonna change that to 0. So if you don't have a padding and no min width as well, everything's gonna be squished, right? So we wanna have a margin right. Okay, so I'm between each tab item. So we're gonna give a margin right, and then text transform. By default, Material UI change everything to uppercase. I don't want that, right? So I'm gonna give it an inherit to whatever the text is where we bring it in from. I'm gonna change the font size, font weight, and the outline width. The outline width is basically when I click on this, there's an outline to it, right? So I want to get rid of that width. So if I save that, okay, it's gonna look slightly different, and it's gonna look a lot more like that. Where is it? Right here, right? So all of that. So at the moment, the active tab by default is black in color. Do you see it? Like the rest are gray, this is black, right? So I want to change the color here to our variable color. So var main dash color, and then let's set that as important as well. Save. Wait, wait, what? Wait, what? Some custom tabs. Wait, custom tabs active. Color. Is it? I don't think the order matters really. Save. Let's refresh. So if we have a custom tabs and if it's active, why is everything active? Okay. So here's the issue, right? So for the all, okay, so if it's all, everything's gonna be active. But down here, what we wanna do is if the tab value is equal to the tag, okay, then, so let's refresh. So now if the tab value is equal to the tag, it's going to be that color. See that? Okay, so we've styled everything. The only thing remaining is styling on the card and the dialog, right? So let's go back. So the tabs is done. Okay, let's go to the projects and the card. We've given everything a name, right? So let's go back to portfolio. So I'm gonna give this a comment. Tabs end of tabs. Okay, and then I'm gonna say cards, and then end of cards, and then I'm gonna say dialog, and then end of dialog. Cool, that's all we need, I guess. So let's start with the card, right? So we have a custom card. Okay, we want to style that, and then we have an image. Okay, so we want to have custom. I'm gonna copy and paste that a couple times. Okay, so we have a custom cards and then a custom card image. Okay, that, and then we have a custom card and a custom card title. Let me rename that to title. Yeah, I guess that's what we have, right? So let's start styling everything. So for the custom card, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy and paste some of these stylings. So let's do this. We're going to give it a height of 100%, right? A height of 100%. So, and then it had a border. We got rid of that border, added a border radius and a box shadow. And then the outline is what we had, right? So when you click on it, there won't be an outline now. Okay, so an overflow will be hidden just in case if it goes outside the screen. Okay, We give it a max width as well, just in case if a card gets really long for some reason, like it shouldn't become really long, it will have a max width where it can stop, right? For the image, okay, we have an image that we set, but it's not showing because you did a height, right? I'm gonna set the height, and that's the material UI defaults. 140px, so let's save that, and there we go, we get the image as well. And now for the title, let's just give it a font weight, so make it slightly bold, right? Font weight of 500, save. That's it, I guess. Does it look like that? So let's look. So there's more space between the items. I still get an outline width. Do you see that black width that I get? I don't want that. I'm gonna try and like get rid of that. Maybe if I do an, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So we have more space between that up there and down. So let's add some space. First of all, let's do this here, right? So spacing of 3, so there's more space between our items. Cool. It's kind of different, but I don't know. Wait, give me a second, right? So I want to add some space above that as well. So what I'm going to say is, let's have a spacing of 1 at least here. It's going to add more space, and then yeah, I guess reduce this space now, right? So what I can do is, instead of MB30, I'm gonna say MB20, and then let's create an MB20. Okay, so 20, and then 20, save that, and then save this. Cool, so it looks a lot like that now. Right, so that's our projects, and when we click on that, we get the dialog for the project. What I can do is, I can move all of this into a grid item with a width. So for the projects, I can say grid item. Wait, let me think. Give me a second. Grid item. If I do this, so we have a spacing of 3, but inside for a grid item, so XS should be 12, SM should be 6. Wait, what? SM should be 6, and then MD should be 4, and LG should be 3. Let's try, no, LG should be 3. So let's try that. Cool, it's a lot better. Like, that was way too congested, right? So we can do that, or what you can do is like get rid of the LG, and it will look a lot more like a real application. So like right that, right? So it's going to be bigger as well. There we go. Right? So I guess yeah, that's pretty close, right? Pretty close. I guess so. Maybe change the font size for this, I guess. So let's make that body 2 maybe. So for the title, I'm gonna have a variant of body 2 as well. So variant body 2. I'll make it a string. Cool. Yeah, I kind of like this more, right? And then for the bottom one, I'm gonna make the variant as caption. Cool. Now that's way too small, but what we can do is change the color to the grayish one, right? I'm gonna rename this to caption since we're using caption. And then inside the CSS, custom card.caption, let me copy that real quick. Inside there, custom card, and then custom card.caption, and then let's change the color to dark slate gray. Okay, cool. Wait, did I do it? I think I did. I think I did, but just let's have an important just in case. But yeah, or let's just make it gray, I guess. Damn, nice. All right, cool. And I'm gonna do one more thing. So let's have a font weight of 300. Cool. It's slightly like thinner, right? I don't know, like whatever, you can get rid of it. 400 is the default, so it's gonna, let's have it back as 400 rather than get rid of it. But yeah, okay, so I guess that's done. The last thing remaining is the dialog, right? So let's start coding the dialog, right? So we have a project dialog. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste this a couple times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see. And then we have an image in there, so I'm gonna copy that, and then dot underscore image. Okay, and then we have a description, so dot underscore description, and then we have actions, so dot underscore actions, and lastly we have the icon, right? So underscore icon. So I'm gonna copy and paste most of this code, right? So project model, I'm just gonna copy and paste some of the stuff. Okay, display flags, align items, say centrally and horizontally aligned, and we're gonna give it a max width. So just to have just a max width, right? So it cannot go above this width. Okay, for the image, we're gonna do something else as well. So for the image, we're gonna say the max height should be 300, so the image cannot be bigger than 300 pixels, and then the width takes up 100% of the model, and then object fit cover, and that's just how much of the image you want to, like, just CSS it. Okay, so we want to show the entire image, and then the position of the image should be centered, center. Okay, and then for the description, just because the text is congested kinda, so I'm gonna add a margin top of 10 px. For the actions, I'm gonna do something else as well. So we're gonna justify these actions to center, so they're gonna be centered aligned, and then there's gonna be a small margin button. Okay, and then for the icon, let's do something as well. So the last thing, so for the icon, we're gonna do something. The color of the icon should be that. Okay, and then there should be a small margin to the left and right, and the cursor should be a pointer. So when I click on it, the cursor should be a pointer, right? And then two more things that I'm just gonna add is it's still on the dialog. So wait, project dialog. Okay, project dialog dot the icon, and then if we hover over the icon, okay, we want the color to be different, right? So we want the color to be our variable color. So var main color, right? So that's going to be a variable color. And the last thing is the font size, so the icon size, right? So I'm going to paste that in project dialog, and yeah, so 1 second, let's do that. So I guess that should do. So this is the icon. We've done this several times in this series, so you guys should know this by now. But if we click on this now, it still doesn't work. Okay, something's wrong. I think it's the naming that we've done. So I'm gonna full screen this. Okay, and then let's split this to the right. let's go to a project, and I'm going to minimize that, and let's open the dialog. So project dialog. Wait, what? Where's the class name for the project dialog? I don't see it here. So what I can do is just give this a class name. I don't know why it needs flags though. I'm probably gonna get rid of this. I don't know. Class name equals to project dialog. Let's save and see if it works. It should give us something different though at least. Do that. Okay, it is kind of different. So I'm gonna get rid of, I don't know if we need that. Save. Okay, yeah, perfect. So this is okay. So we have the title, the image is missing, so something's wrong with the image. Project dialog.image, project dialog image. Oh wait, we didn't pass in the source. Okay, so this is going to be project dialog dot image, I think, right? Hopefully it is that. Let's see. Cool, perfect. So we have a title, we have the image, we have the description, and then we have the button. So the buttons, when we click on it, it will go to link, and then they are hoverable. I guess this should be like everything we need, right? Like I don't think we need anything else, but unless maybe you want to set the size of the dialog to slightly bigger, maybe. Let's look for it. But yeah, other than that, I think everything is fine. Hopefully. Size, optional sizes. So they have a max width, oh, there's a full width as well, so let's try the full width out. Let's go back to the dialog. Let's have a full width, save, and then why is this not saved? Save, let's close that. And then if I go back to application, oh my days, let's try this. I don't know, just play around with the CSS, as in with that. Maybe I can have a max width or full width of X, I don't know. So, but yeah, our application is almost done, right? You can refer to the dialog API on Material UI and just see how to set the size. But yeah, so we have everything. So we can literally change anything in our resume data. That's it, and the code will always remain the same. You don't ever have to go back to the code, right? So I guess that's the end of our application. Just to test everything out, we have the home page, we have the component that we created right here, we have the abouts, we have all of this stuff, contact form. That this isn't functional, but you can probably use a backend for it, or maybe even just get rid of the button and have a message, like send a message to this email or something like that, I don't know. Or yeah, and we have the portfolio section. So if you click on that or resume, it's going to be the same link, but we have the portfolio that goes to the portfolio. We created a gallery kind of thing that filters out the tag, and then we can click on each item and it's going to show us the image and yeah, all of that, right? Pretty cool. Like I haven't seen any React resume video that's as clean as this, and I'm not even gonna like capitalize, trust me. But yeah, thanks for watching, and if you did find value in this series, just leave a like, probably subscribe if you wanna, and a comment just so others can see it, and share the video. Thank you so much.